Happy Saturday afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Magic Partners Live. I'm John from D News Jam. Next to me is Chase from DisneylandToday.net, and next to him is Bryan from Bryan's Magic Life. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. How you guys going this week?
Hello.
Good. How about you?
Yeah, good. It's been a busy week down here, but again, a really busy week in the land of Disney. And this week we've been excited with a huge launch that's come up. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And that is, of course, Avengers Campus. So fantastic news this week with June 2nd with the live event opening things up. I've wanted to go through a few photos here that arrived of Avengers Campus this week with a few guests that have come through. But the first thing I really want to talk about, guys, is the live event. So we had a live event on June 2nd. It was around 8 o'clock. Lots of things, lots of exciting stuff happened at the event. And it was sort of like announced by Friday, which is a good touch. And we got to see a lot of guest stars. What did you think of the event, Chase? I know you watched it right through. So, tell us a little bit about it and the build, how it built the excitement.
Is really telling stories with familiar characters, but stories that we've
I was glued to my computer when this was all going on, so I was so excited to see the ceremony, and I was super impressed that it went on as long as it did, because before they covered things, it was like, super short. It's like, okay, here guys, here's the video, and then that was it. And then they had this, and it ran from like 8:15 to like 8 p.m. So it was a good long ceremony. There were some people there, but otherwise it was very safe, very well done. Paul Rudd looked amazing. He was like in a pink suit, which looked fantastic. I think only Paul could pull that off. Anthony Mackie was also there, and Jon Favreau, Kevin Feige. They had several actors and actresses that couldn't make it that were on a screen that Paul Rudd introduced, but having everybody there that was able to attend was really cool, and I thought the unveiling of the Sam Captain America with Anthony Mackie right there was very powerful, and of course bringing up Captain America's shield and actually handing it to him was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a good touch.
It was great. Spider-Man, though, I tell you, if there's anybody that gets the best show out of Avengers Campus, it's Spider-Man. He gets the limelight completely, but this moment was very, very special. It was very emotional, and I think it meant a lot to a lot of people to be able to have him up there and pass on the torch, if you will. And the cool thing that they are able to do is, look at him, he looks amazing. He could practically be a stunt double.
He does, doesn't he?
He does look just like him. It's amazing. And I don't know if that's a prop from the television show or the movie, but I mean, that's legit right there.
Yeah.
Look at how cool he looks.
Yeah, he looks great.
And so,
belongs in Avengers Campus.
Right, and the fact that you can see them both, you can see Steve and Sam over in Avengers Campus during the day, is just amazingly incredible, and that just goes to show that I think they've really learned their lesson from creating an open timeline instead of what Galaxy's Edge did in creating a very closed storyline right about when the prequels came out. So now they can have all of these Avengers, even the ones that we've lost, and have them so everybody is able to see them without them being gone. Because for a kid, it's hard to watch a movie, but then it's even more difficult. That means that you actually can't meet them.
Yeah, it is. It is hard. I know a lot of people with Galaxy's Edge complain about that as well, that they couldn't meet past characters. But we'll move on from there, and I just wanted to next talk about the main attraction at opening day, which was Web Slingers. Now, just if I can make a couple of comments, there was a couple of people that came off this ride that seemed to think that it was more of a B rather than an A attraction. They sort of likened it to Millennium Falcon at Galaxy's Edge, saying that they're kind of still waiting for a big ticket attraction. What would you guys kind of say to that comment, and what did you actually think after seeing a few videos and ride-alongs on the ride?
First of all, I gotta say, I love this guy who's like snapping his fingers. I love that he's like, trying to snap his fingers to send the web. I thought it was so funny. I can't tell because the mask, I can't tell who that is.
Yeah.
But the ride looks amazing, and of course I can see where people would be kind of saddened by the fact that it is it's a shooter. It is it's a track kind of ride that just moves you from scene to scene like Midway Mania.
Yep.
And so but I think the difference between this and Midway Mania is, first of all, you have that little like pop gun kind of for Midway Mania where you're just like kind of shooting all this stuff, and you're shooting at plates and toys and all these little things. But there's actually, it is I've heard from people that were coming off the ride yesterday on live stream that a lot of people were saying that the response to their hand movements was incredibly accurate. They said, I wasn't just throwing my arms and nothing happened. They said I was actually slinging webs very accurately to the movements I was making, which is really good for them because that means that they're getting it right with the sensors. It's able to actually track their motions and multiple motions because you can stick 4 people in there, and it tallies your score on the board in front of you as a group. You can see your individual scores. Mm-hmm. You can see your individual scores based on the seat that you're sitting in, but then you also get a center tally of what everybody made at the end of the attraction. So that's really cool that it's able to keep track of every individual person based on their seat.
Yep.
And there's an overall scoreboard when you walk out of the ride. So you have the best ride vehicle within the hour. So whoever made the best score, it lists your vehicle, which is right behind Anthony there. They were in vehicle 17. If you were the high score for the day, there's a board that says high score for the hour. And so it could sit there and it actually updates in real time. So awesome. If somebody beats his score, he would move down on the scoreboard within the hour. It's really nice. It's really cool.
That's a little similar to Toy Story then. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Go ahead, Chase. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say it was from what I got, people said, wow, this is a workout. They said, be expected to have very sore arms and be very tired because there's a lot of motion. But, what people were aiming at more is they were aiming for the bots more. But actually the things to aim for are actually like the crates and all of the stuff on the wall. If you can open up the crates and pull those into the room, then you will do a lot more damage than just shooting at the bots because you're overwhelmed by those bots. It's like a scene from like Wreck-It Ralph where it's like all the cybugs. It's just like that. They look at all the bugs and they're like, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Whereas all those like colored things over there on the walls, those are crates that you can open. Some of them have things inside them. And I know at one point you get Stormbreaker, which is, of course, Thor's axe. Wow. And if you open up the crate with that in it, then it sends electricity everywhere. And it's just like, so awesome. You get like bonus points for opening that crate. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that but I mean, you're very distracted by how many bots there are. But I have seen, of course, the whole ride, which is technically it's hard to watch because it is 3D. But
yeah. So the experience will be different. Yep.
It is very cool.
Yeah, the ride.
It's amazing how it works.
The ride vehicles look absolutely awesome. I love the look of the ride vehicles.
Oh yeah.
And I would say that the story can change around quite easily and quite readily as well. Because we've got this, takeover of the spider bots, but I think we can easily, change stories around and, you could even have a new story every couple of weeks or every month or something like that very easily on the ride.
Maybe you could, because the neat thing about this that is much better than Midway Mania is that as you're transitioning to the next screen, there's actually physical set things that are kind of cool. Like they have at the end there very briefly.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So you're actually stopping in front of things like the Quinjet hangar and all that kind of stuff. So you have to make sure that you fit within the story, because those are going to be doors that you actually access as are part of Avengers Campus. So when you actually go outside, the meet and greet area where you can meet Spider-Man and the wall where Miles has left his tag art, you can see, like on one of the vents, you can see where the spider bots have broken out a hole of the vent, and then of course you can see them trapped in one of Spider-Man's webs. So they've made it look like once you get off the ride, here are some of the bots that have actually escaped that have been caught. So the physical items contribute a lot to the story. So I don't know how much you could change, but you might be able to throw in some variety.
Yep, understandable. And now that we've actually seen the ride, we know that we don't need anything to assist us on the ride in terms of the armbands, I'm going to call them, that we saw earlier.
Right. Yeah, the power bands.
But those will help you and assist you. I've heard of double action web slinging and all that sort of thing. So and most of the high scores coming off the ride, I believe that they probably have assistance from those power bands. But it's good that you don't have to have it necessarily to ride the ride. But a great accessory nonetheless. Yeah. Go ahead, Chase.
I got that wrong. And so the power band, now if you do want to use the upgrade, you do have to have the power band. So you do need to buy it if you want to use it for the ride. But during the ride, if you don't have the upgrade, you can just fire just like Anthony Mackie is doing there. You can just fire with your hands and it recognizes your hands. You don't even need to use the actual Spider-Man. It figures out that if you're just throwing your hands like this, it's going to work. But so the power band is only if you have the upgraded shooter, either the Iron Man gauntlet or the Spider-Man gauntlet. The power band is what makes it work for the attraction, and so you power it, and that's how it powers when you're just using it in play version, because you can use it as a toy at home. So. I was wrong about that. I figured it out.
But
it's really cool without it.
Yeah. Really
I didn't see anybody using it yesterday at all. I didn't see anybody who wore it and used it in any of the videos that I watched.
Yeah, so stand by for that. As soon as we see someone on using it, we'll have a chat about that one. So moving on from Web Slingers now, which is the main attraction at this point. Of course, you've got Galaxy's Edge. Of course, you've got the other main attraction at the event, which has been open since 2018, which is from Guardians of the Galaxy. That's still a great ride.
Breakout.
Yeah, still a great ride. So we can't discount that as being part of the park, part of the Avengers Campus as well.
Yes.
So, yeah, great ride. moving on.
I was going to say really quickly though.
Yeah.
This is like so amazing, but the only downside to it being added to Avengers Campus is that when they did zone it for the rest of the park, the queue to get in closed out the access to Mission Breakout. Mm-hmm. So if you couldn't get into Avengers Campus, you couldn't get to Mission Breakout.
Right. Okay.
Gotcha.
Which has been a problem. We'll talk about that a bit later, but I just wanted to move on now to what Chase and I think were most excited about, and Bryan as well, which was seeing the Spider-Man show, and particularly the part where we get that amazing animatronic. But let's just talk about it as a whole to start off with. I think the show sort of captures Spider-Man very, very well. I love the way he's talking to the crowd and the way he's asking for selfies and hashtags and all that sort of thing. Typical Spider-Man stuff. Really loved it. What did you guys think of the show? And yeah, what do you guys think?
Field testing. Hey, could you record it for me? Tag me later. There we go.
I love how it comes. Yeah, go ahead, Chase. Sorry.
Oh no, it's all right. Go ahead.
I love.
I'm just watching.
All his little stunts. Super
Yeah, and that fall over is awesome as well.
Thank goodness for those crates.
No, it's great. Chuffed about this. I think it's going to be one of the biggest parts. Everyone's going to want to see this when they walk into Avengers Campus.
Don't forget to tag me on
and
your
particularly,
video.
the animatronic, which they have been hyping for a long time now. I mean, we should have seen Avengers Campus open last year, so there's been a lot of hype around Avengers Campus. I think it's great. I think it looks very interactive. We'll move on to other things as soon as we see this flyover come through, which is an animatronic, and it's just so amazing that this can happen over and over again. And I'm sure that they're probably catapulting the animatronic and then catching it at the other end, just as we saw when they were first doing it.
Here it comes!
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What a great study.
Yeah. Like, when you think
is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I can't wait to see it in person. And that's what everybody was saying. They were like, "Oh my gosh, you guys, the video doesn't even sum this up. You have to see it in person."
Yeah.
And I was like, "If only."
Yeah. And
yeah, they filmed him climbing down, which is really cool. And Instagram and TikTok, they couldn't believe it. They're like, there's no way that's a robot that's jumping from the rooftops. And I'm like, do you really think that they'd launch a person without any harnesses 60 or 70 feet in the air?
yeah.
It's like, no way.
And a really great touch how he comes down afterwards and it's available for shots, selfies and all that sort of stuff. So that was fantastic. I imagine as we move on, we're going to he's going to be able to take some more personal shots through the park. So let's move on from there. That was that's a really awesome part of the Avengers Campus. I think that's a must-see when you get through the door. And let's just move on to
I think they do it every hour, I think.
Oh, every hour? Okay, awesome. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yep, so that's great. Gives everybody a chance to see it. Just wanted to move on now to another show, which we've kind of been anticipating. We didn't know we didn't have much information what was going to happen with the show, and this is the Inner Sanctum Doctor Strange show. And it's a good show, but kind of think, and I know everyone else here today, it's a little bit not what we expected. Let's put it that way. We kind of expected something more interactive, I'm going to say, and we kind of get a magic show, which is fantastic, and the effects are great. But yeah, something we didn't expect. you know, like, is it something you think you can also, like, when the show's not going, that you can have a walk around, Chase, and have a look closely at what's going on there, or is this just a roped off stage?
They really, I don't think that they, from what I was gathering, they don't really let you in until it's time for the show in this area. Mm-hmm. You can go and see the cube. You can go all around that little garden area and see the cube, but they don't let you really walk around here until the show is ready, and then they queue everyone up, and however many, they do have markers on the ground. I don't think you can see them in these pictures, but they do have a few places that you can stand, so they're social distancing you.
Yeah.
And you know that it is they are planning it, but there's not too many people that are in there at one time, so you may not get in if you queue.
Yeah.
But it is pretty. I'd love to be able to walk around in there, but I don't think that they let you just wander, and I guess that's probably because they don't want people like messing with the cauldron and the shelf and stuff. So even though the cabinet stays closed, but it's I was really hoping for a Jedi Training Academy kind of show where they teach kids how to use the mystic arts and all that kind of stuff, and that he'd be interacting with them a bit more. But
you stay there.
Yep.
He's kind of a young dude. He's
a little young, definitely.
Yeah, he's a little bit young, but he did do a great job. There was, I don't know how much of it is actually him talking or recorded. I couldn't really tell.
Yep.
But they do, of course, amplify and kind of echo his voice when he's doing his spells, so it's all dramatic.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, a magic show. That's what we get. There are some pretty cool effects. There are 3 that I was in particular thought were really impressive.
Yep.
But 3 magic little spectaculars that are. But I kind of liked this part where he starts repeating everything and he's like, oh wait. You already heard all that.
Look, it's something different, definitely. We don't kind of have this sort of show in Disneyland or Disney World at all, so it's something different, and, the effects are great, so something definitely to see as well. I just wanted to now show just a few of the first reactions that, of the crowd when they first walked into Avengers Campus. And wanted to go over to DisneylandToday.net. I just wanted to discuss what the, you've got some great information up here of what to expect and how much things are and all that sort of stuff. I also wanted to talk about the lines and the availability to Avengers Campus, because it's been hard to get in there in the first few days. Talk us through that, Chase, because large lines, etc.
It was very confusing, because some people had information like, okay, there's going to be a virtual queue, or there's going to be a standby queue. There is no virtual queue for getting into the land, but there is a physical queue, which happens if the land meets capacity, which happened very quickly yesterday. I was watching a YouTuber, and it was before noon. Probably it had to have been like 10, 11, something like that. The land had already been barricaded off, and basically the system that they seem to be using is like one person leaves, one person gets in, or of course if you're a member of a party, maybe they have to wait until that many number come in. But mobile ordering time slots were gone within moments. So they said if you're going into the campus, they're like, order your food right away. they were out of all more mobile ordering slots in no time. So there was like no way you could do that. They started doing a little bit of standby, but then even then it was really difficult to get food. So if you had eventually they said, first of all, we won't let you in if you're picking up food. You should have been in the land when you ordered your mobile food and then you're going to pick it up. But eventually they changed that and they said, okay, if you have a mobile order and you're picking it up, we'll let you in. You definitely got in if you had a boarding group for web slingers. So anybody else, though, you were kind of out of luck unless people were leaving, which didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I heard it went all the way back into where World of Color is, where they all sit and watch that show, which is over by the Ferris wheel.
Right.
And then it went beyond that to Golden Zephyr before they actually said, okay, no more people can enter the queue right now until this dies down. And so people just, of course, you open up a brand new land, everybody wants to see it. They want to be there as much as possible and get food, and they wanted to do all that. So it's not a surprise that they didn't leave. Tables were very hard to get. They were like, leaving part of their party at tables and having other people go in their party to do stuff and then keeping the table. So finding a place to sit was very difficult. A lot of people were like finding whatever sliver of shade that they could, because yesterday apparently was really hot out in Anaheim.
Yep.
So they were like, trying to get whatever shade that they could. If people started sitting on the grounds, cast member were like, please, we need you to stand up to keep the flow, to keep any feet away from people walking. We don't want tripping and anything like that. So it was pretty crazy. It looked super busy. There was no distancing. There was no way they could do it. Everybody was wearing masks like they were supposed to, but there was no way you could distance all these people wanting to see Spider-Man. It was just like what they felt would be the issue with doing fireworks.
Yeah. People
all gathered around to see the shows, and yet they could not social distance anybody. So that was kind of a problem. No one was 6 feet from each other. They were all packed in and wanting to see what was going on. So luckily, these were all like kind of short bursts of time that they could see them. There were plenty of characters that were available, plenty of Avengers around. I think in the videos I was watching, Ant-Man, Wasp, Thor, Loki, Captain America Steve, Captain America Sam, Black Widow. They had the Taskmaster from the Black Widow movie was in the show, but they weren't just walking around, so you couldn't go and see him just standing around with Black Widow. So he was in the show, but not on a walk around. Iron Man probably showed up the least. And I'm guessing that suit was just excruciatingly hot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure it was like being under a magnifying glass in the sun. It was just probably he was melting inside. Yeah. So they got him out for a very short amount of time in the shade. He was in the shade of the building and able to get pictures, but for a very short amount of time. And then, of course, they have the show for the Dora Milaje, the warriors from Wakanda, and those women are amazing.
Yeah. I haven't got any footage of that.
It's incredible to watch them.
Yeah, it was a great show. Haven't got any footage of that available. Maybe we'll have a chat about that next week. But yeah, that is an amazing show. Yeah. Awesome. I think, for me, these sort of things were bound to happen when Avengers Campus opened. We're never going to get everybody in the park wanted to go to one specific area, and it would have caused a bit of a bottleneck there. So I think that'll improve as, number one, things start opening up a bit more. So that we can let more people into the park, and that we don't have to sort of limit the amount of people going into a specific land, but totally understandable at this stage. We did talk about it last week, but I just wanted to go back to web slingers and just talk about just quickly. So how do you get onto web slingers? There's sort of like a booking situation like we have for Rise of the Resistance, right? So
right.
So just take us through again what times those are that are available to book during the day.
Definitely. So just like Rise of the Resistance, it's on the same virtual queue. You can try at 7 a.m. and 12 p.m. Mm-hmm. And the thing you just have to remember is with these attractions, being the big attractions that everybody wants to get on, you cannot have a boarding group at the same time for Rise of the Resistance and Web Slingers. So if you start your day in California Adventure, then you can go for the 7 a.m. boarding group. And as long as you get on the ride before noon, when you park hop, you can go for the 12 p.m. of Rise of the Resistance, but you can't do Spider-Man again. So you'd have to, you can do, if you make it, which it is easy for people to be able to get on Web Slingers because compared to Web Slingers' 18 to 20 minute long experience, this is only about 8. So you have a 4 or so minute ride and a few minutes of pre-show. And so they're able to move people much more quickly through this ride. So your chances of getting on before noon are very high. And then you can go ahead and try for Rise of the Resistance if you have a park hopper ticket. So our partners over at DisneylandToday.net, we're very lucky to be able to get both Web Slingers and Rise of the Resistance.
Wow.
Joe and Michelle were able to get on they were able to get in a boarding group at 7 a.m. for Rise of the Resistance and Group 5. And since they had gotten on and off the ride before noon, they went for Web Slingers at 12 and then made their park hop over at 1. So they actually didn't go quite at 1. Awesome. They stayed in Disneyland for a little bit, but they did a couple things in Disneyland before going over to California Adventure. But because they had that boarding group, they were able to bypass the standby line for Avengers Campus.
So it is possible, folks, to get on both of those main attractions at Disneyland at the moment. It is possible. So
it's tricky, but you can do it.
You can do it. Okay, so that was
a little bit of luck.
Yes.
So that was Avengers
a lot
Campus.
of luck because they were gone in 7 seconds. I heard they were out. If you couldn't get in that fast, it was sorry, guys.
Absolutely. So that was Avengers Campus. Look, if I can ask Bryan, final thoughts on Avengers Campus, what do you think? And is it going to be a big park moving forward at Disneyland? First to you, Bryan, and then over to Chase for comments.
Yeah, I think it will be, definitely. It's definitely a big enough draw that I want to go there ASAP. You guys want to fund that trip? Because I need to go.
We'd love to see you there.
Yeah, no, it looks awesome. I can't wait to go. If I probably won't get to go till like next year, but man, fingers crossed. If I can try to get there this year, I will. I'm going to try to save every penny I have.
And your thoughts on Avengers Campus, Chase?
I think for people who are fans of Marvel, that this is, if you haven't experienced it already, you're going to love it. And as I was telling people in various chat groups yesterday, try and just hold your opinions of Web Slingers until you can actually go on it and enjoy it for yourself, because it looks like a very different experience. It looks like a lot of fun. And I'd say give it a chance, but I think the big draw for Avengers Campus is definitely going to be the food.
Yeah, the food looks really good. Just finally, before we turn away from Avengers Campus, do you think we'll see another attraction inside Avengers Campus in the future. Is there room there? Do you think we'll see? Yep. We'll see a new attraction.
The Avengers headquarters, the headquarter building where the Quinjet is, that is the shell of the future e-ticket attraction that was planning to go in a couple of years. Okay. So as soon as, it was good that they put the shell there, that you're able to, they've at least got that all done. They just need to decide whatever that e-ticket attraction is going to be inside. And I think that will be another renewal, just like getting Rise of the Resistance after Smuggler's Run in Galaxy's Edge. So I think that'll be another big draw. There's still really no word on what exactly it will be, but, that's said to be like 2023 for that attraction, whatever it is. And there is also... pretty much there's room for even further expansion if they wanted to take up Hollywoodland. So that kind of back area as your way back around, there's a lot of stuff that really isn't all that important to the rest of the thing. It's just sort of like a passerby section. They could actually do quite a bit with that if they wanted to. So who knows? It may even expand as more Marvel movies come out.
Great. That's awesome.
I can see that happen.
So let's move over now to Disney World, and I wanted to talk to you, Bryan, about Halloween. Okay. So Halloween's coming up at Disney World, and we've got this new show, which is the Boo Bash, and we've got a bit of a website. So take us through it, Bryan. Let's hear about what's sort of going to be at Boo Bash and the pricing as well. Talk to us.
Yeah. Well, so... First off, Boo Bash has 23 nights that it's going to be running, and those are going to be running from Tuesday, August 10th to Sunday, October 31st. Obviously, guests of all ages can dress up in costume. But one thing to remember is guests that are 14 and older can't wear a mask. Even to Boo Bash, they still can't wear a mask. So that's always going to be a rule.
Important to remember.
They also said that Boo Bash guests can show up as early as a 7 p.m. for early access. So the tickets, the prices, like you were asking, they start at $129 to $139 plus tax for August and September nights. $159 to $169 for October nights, with the exception of Halloween. Halloween is going to run you $200.
Wow.
But the good news is, if you're an annual pass holder or a DVC member, you can take advantage of a $10 discount for the nights in August and September. So not for October, just the first 2 months. And there will be a limited number of tickets, of course. If they want to keep it limited, they want to not have big crowds. Hence why it's more of an after hours event than it is, a Mickey's Not So Scary.
Yeah. So
they're going to go ahead. What were you going to say?
So that means obviously that you can get on rides a lot easier as well, because the lines will be a lot shorter.
Yeah, absolutely. So Boo Bash will also have fall decorations on Main Street. And don't worry, for you 50th fans that are waiting for the 50th to start, for that week that they are running, they'll blend the fall look with the enchanting story of Cinderella by creating special coach decorations that will add to the park's iridescence during the magical time as that 50th celebration will be going on for the nights in October. So they have a way to kind of combine it all together. So don't worry, you're not going to lose anything from the 50th. You're not going to lose any of the Halloween stuff for the 50th. They're all going to work together. It's all going to look really great. I have no doubt. They'll also have a variety of special foods and drinks. Those will be available for purchase, of course. There's an apple ginger dale frozen drink, which is a frozen apple cider mixed with ginger ale and topped with whipped cream. There's also a Foolish Mortal funnel cake.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That must be what's on the right there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, looks like it. Definitely. That's the Foolish Mortal funnel cake. That looks I don't know
amazing.
if it looks.
That looks like it's just a heart attack waiting to
Right. That's
But
what
then
I
again,
mean, like,
most
it
Disney
looks
food is, right?
tasty. It does look tasty.
No,
Like,
no.
it's gonna be good for me.
Definitely not good for you. That's not ice cream. That's pure frosting on there.
Yeah, I would look.
That is
I would
pure
look.
frosting.
I just have to mention right here that my wife is vegan, and there's lots of vegan options in Disneyland and Disney World as
Yes.
well. So don't think you
yeah,
have to
definitely.
eat this stuff when you go there.
Yeah,
but
you don't. This is just what they're featuring right now.
yeah. But this stuff is amazing to eat. It really is. As
It
long
really
as you.
is.
As long as all the children's out there, it's sometimes food, okay? But yeah,
Yeah.
all that stuff, love it. Yeah, yeah.
And
Go
then
ahead.
Another thing to note, just like all the other after hours events that they've had before, part of what goes into what you're paying for the cost, you'll have select complimentary snacks. Like ice cream and popcorn. Ice cream, like the ones that they have at the carts. So like the ice cream sandwiches, the Mickey bars, etc. As along with the popcorn, and also the the bottled soda beverages, Powerade soda, water bottles. That's all in the cost of your event admission.
Right.
We'll also see our favorite friends lurking about, of course. That includes the lovely Miss Carlotta at the Haunted Mansion. If you've been to any of the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties in the last few years, she is so funny.
Yep. Cool.
She's my favorite character to go see whenever I was at those. Also, Goofy, Chip and Dale, they'll be in their Halloween best.
Yep.
And we'll also see Returning from the Dead, the Cadaver Dans.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Of course, there's going to be other characters popping up around the park. You'll see Mickey and Minnie. They'll be in the cavalcades. Speaking of which, there's going to be special cavalcades, just like the ones we saw last year all day long. But now they're going to only be for the special event.
Yeah.
We'll have the Mickey and Friends cavalcade, a Villains cavalcade, Jack's Nightmare cavalcade, and we'll see Maleficent, but in dragon form. So
awesome.
That's going to be the dragon float from the normal parade, the Festival of Fantasy parade, but they're going to be using it for Halloween. So we'll get to see the return of the Maleficent dragon float, which will be fantastic.
Yeah, and look, one thing they don't mention is any fireworks show, but we've got a strong rumor,
or any stage shows or anything like that.
We've got a strong rumor that we might see the return to Walt Disney World of fireworks for July 4th. So there could be a chance that we might see a fireworks show happening by October. It's something they probably can't mention at the moment until we've got past July. But I think there could be a strong possibility of that. You heard it here first. It's not official though.
It's possible. But
it's possible.
I want to know where you heard that, John, because I hadn't heard that yet.
Yeah, I'll have to go back through my research. Yeah. So, I heard that fleeting announcement a couple of weeks ago that we're going to see something for July 4th, but don't, I don't think it was official. It was just something that someone heard from somewhere that was a pretty good source. But I think that fireworks are on the way back, and certainly Epcot's ready for it.
They tested the full Harmonious show the other night, apparently. So
So,
is that the thing with like the crazy arms and stuff?
Yeah, it's the float.
What is that?
Yeah, that's in the middle of Epcot.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The Stargate.
Yeah.
That is exactly what it is. And then, of course, it folds open and all the water sprays. And it's just like, wow, whatever that is, it looks amazing.
I mean, traditionally,
show.
Yeah, traditionally in Epcot, there's like the normal show for July 4th. There's the normal show, and then straight after it, there's a massive, show for July 4th. So, when I was there back in 2013, everyone talked about the fireworks show at Epcot for July 4th. So let's hope, crossing our fingers, that we do launch fireworks again at a Disney park there on July 4th. That'd be really great.
If they don't do it July 4th, I have no doubts that it'll be sometime this year for sure. But I if not July 4th, I don't know when, but it'll be this year.
Also, some strong rumors this week as well, and I don't want to talk about facts here. I just want to talk about rumors. Is that Tron roller coaster has really amped up a lot more happening there on site that I heard, and that we may have an opening for spring 2022, which is not too far away. So that's great. They did remove some of the props from the show building this week that people were concerned about, that they were sort of, stopping everything for a while, but they were actually moving the props out so they could continue construction, is what I heard. I believe the same thing, definitely, because they don't want to damage anything, obviously. So, that's some good news at Disney World. We really did miss a show at Halloween last year, and we're kind of waiting for something to happen at Disneyland this year. Hopefully, I heard from a news report last night that we won't see the end of masks in California until October. That was a talk that was being spread around. So that's extremely interesting. They're being a lot more careful than other states are, which means that you'll probably be wearing a mask a fair bit longer. If I could, I just wanted to add some breaking news regarding a conversation that was held yesterday. Apparently, Governor Newsom is not quite satisfied with the conditions in California and considers it still in a state of emergency, though I don't know why. And there was a last-minute decision in a conversation that was not meant for that. They were talking about something completely different. He was giving huge cash rewards to people who got their shots, but in a press thing afterwards, the conversation got brought up that the tier system may not go away by the 15th, which hopefully does not persuade Disney to change its out-of-state guest date. Because if they extend that and California says it's still a state of emergency, I know, and that was what I was like. Some people have already planned their vacation. Are you actually going to do that? So I'm hoping that Disney kind of looks at it, and I think we're safe to open up for out of state guests, even though Newsom is I don't think we're quite ready to get rid of this tier system. Somehow he thinks, even though supposedly 75 to 80% of the state is vaccinated, that there is still a state of emergency, and that they may not be ready to get rid of the color tier system. So I'm going to keep my eye on the news coming out of California and Newsom to find out what's going on with that, because that would be a huge deal if Disney rescinded their June 15th date to allow out-of-state guests. Yeah, it's extremely interesting. So keep us informed with that, and I'm sure people who have already planned their vacations will be have their eyes glued to the TV on things like that. So Brian, let's go over to your vlog this week. Just wanted to touch on a couple of things, because I do want people to go over to your channel and watch the vlog in its entirety. But let's just have a look at that castle again, because I can never get enough. I think we.
I'm sure there's still a little bit more to go. It wouldn't surprise me if they need to put some.
Oh yes, yeah.
I have a feeling, I don't know for sure. I just have a feeling that it's not.
Now we're going to head to that first ride.
I
promise.
Plus, we already know it has to go for sure.
Here we go.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome stuff. So moving through your vlog, then the lines look quite large.
They are good for Splash Mountain.
As well.
Especially at Splash Mountain.
It's been a while since we've been on. So let's go have some fun. Let's go get wet.
It's like 65
yeah,
we got to go through the Fast Pass line. Fast Passes have not returned, though. I will say that. We were in line for Big Thunder Mountain, and we were right in the area of the queue right before you get on the ride, and it broke down. So they gave us the Fast Pass to use at any ride we want, except for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Peter Pan. Those are the only two they won't let you use them at. So we just went right over to Splash Mountain. But yeah, look at that line. We bypassed all.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And then also, obviously the Fast Pass lane also, if you have the disabled pass, or if you're a Club 33 member, you still get to use it. But yeah, Fast Passes aren't back yet. Don't worry, guys. Once they are, I promise you, I will break that news.
That's awesome. That's awesome news. But Splash Mountain being very popular, do you think because they're going to make changes to it in the near future?
Yeah, I think so. Even though who knows when they're actually going to do that. But yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it getting popular. Well, as well as it was a pretty warm day. And I think there was a few people, not a few, but a good majority of the queue at Big Thunder that, you know, there's a certain point where once you're in the queue, you know, you're at that point where they're going to give you a Fast Pass, or you're not at that point. So I think from those people on back, they probably just went and got in line for for Splash Mountain, and probably actually made it even more than the 60 minutes that was posted. But it's got a long line constantly. I constantly see it on the My Disney Experience app at like a 70-80 minute wait throughout the day. So yeah, I think it has a lot to do.
I just don't like Splash
future
Mountain.
retheme. I love Splash Mountain. It's the first ride I went.
This gives me so much anxiety just watching this. I'm like, I don't like it.
Ooh, look how high they are, Chase. They're going to drop in. No, I won't do that to you.
John!
Yeah, we know.
Feature. We go over the cliff now.
Yeah.
See? Don't worry, I protected you from the water.
Yeah. Yeah, Splash Mountain's a great
the only thing that ride has going for it that, you know, that California does not have is that the seating is side by side. I would rather be side by side than back to back, honestly. I hate that. I hate that about it. But
yeah, it's weird because when you get to Space Mountain, that switches. So when you go Space Mountain Disneyland, it's side by side. When you're in Space Mountain Disney World, it's back to back. So weird how they've done that. But anyway.
But Disneyland has the better Space Mountain.
yeah, I'd have to agree on that. But yeah, look, it is scary right at the end. I can remember a couple of photos of my wife going down there with the horror on her face. She was she was scared of that one. Yeah, so thanks for that, Bryan, and as usual, head over to Bryan's Magic Life and watch the vlogs because they're really great. There's some good ones there lately. Make sure you subscribe while you're over there. And
you're doing like some Disney karaoke
going. So always awesome to watch, and they're always weekly, sometimes twice a week. So love to see those. So let's move on, guys. As we've almost got to the hour, but we haven't talked about what happened on Bad Batch this week, as we always do. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, spoiler alert. We always forget to say spoiler alert because we're going to talk about episode 6 and what happened in the episode. So turn away now if you don't want to know and you haven't watched the episode yet, which a lot of people probably haven't. But guys, what did you think of the latest episode? We had a few more Easter eggs and we traveled through, had some Easter eggs from, Clone Wars and that sort of stuff. What did you guys think of the episode and how it sort of interacted to things moving forward that we might see, in other words? What did you guys think?
Well, I love this picture of Omega. I'm just going to say, like, she looks amazing. She just, it's
fierce.
That that bow that she got is awesome, and I love the kind of training with the clones that she's doing where she can't hit the target very well, but they're all kind of betting against her that she's not going to hit it. But finally, they come along. She's like, the reason why you can't fire worth a darn is that you've got these little skimpy arms. Yeah. And she's like, once you strengthen your arms, you'll go, boo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, she was like, and she fired it like a pro. It was like nothing for her. She's like, there, lesson over. Bye.
Yeah. So,
but I think the one I was most afraid for Wrecker in this episode. I really felt for him.
Yeah. So what's actually happening with Wrecker with this head injury that he's got? Do you think that's going to be, it seems to be a bit of a mystery at this point. He keeps getting this recurring head pain and actually passes out in this episode. What do you think could be going on there? Do you think it's got something to do with the chip they've placed in his head?
It has everything to do with the chip.
Yep. So talk us through how that. Do you think he'll turn the same way as Crosshair?
No, I think Crosshair has the mentality of it. He has the soldier mentality. He is ready to follow orders. He's, focused on, just as his name implies, Crosshair, he is dead focused on following the orders. The chip is absolutely at this point, he's locked in. But Wrecker has this big heart. He seems to always come back to, this is his family. This is what he's trying to be a part of this team. He's really a big softie, when it doesn't come to fighting. Mm-hmm. So I think that he's going to stave off this. It's going to be hard. It won't be easy for him, but he kept on repeating the words, a good soldier follows orders, a good soldier follows orders. Mm-hmm. And he was still able to overcome it and rejoin everybody and get back on track. So that's why I think he'll be okay, but Crosshair will be a totally different experience.
Okay. Yeah, I think you could be right there. Because
I completely agree with that assessment there.
Yeah, he's a pretty lovable character, so we don't want to see him go the way of Crosshair. That's for definitely sure. So Easter eggs for the episode, we kind of get a crossover from Clone Wars here, because these are the two characters that we saw in Clone Wars interact with Ahsoka, and then we get a hooded character as well when we're picking up when we're in the we're in the droid destruction factory, I'm going to say, which we believe is Ahsoka. Pretty obvious thing. And I think the way in for these two characters was to link Ahsoka to the Bad Batch. Do you guys think we're going to see Ahsoka appear in the Bad Batch?
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think, that will make a lot of fans happy, and it plays more to this interaction between a lot of characters through the animated series and also through the live action stuff. So we're going to see this, Star Wars universe really take place. So really exciting. A lot of people love Ahsoka, I'm included. So it'd be good to see her on the show. And I guess we'll then get the return of Ashley again to voice Ahsoka.
Yay!
So that'll be really good to see.
More Ashley!
Yeah.
You can never have enough Ashley. She's so wonderful.
No, you can't. You really can't.
Brian's been lucky enough to meet Ashley and get her to sign her lightsaber.
So jealous.
Yeah.
So jealous.
We're very jealous about that. Currently bidding online her signed oh no, just joking. Currently bidding at $5 million, and
shame on you, shame.
So no, wouldn't do that. But yeah, we're very excited about seeing Ahsoka again. If she indeed appears in the Bad Batch, and with Ashley's voice, so that'll be great to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, we've now hit 1 hour once again. We could go on talking for another hour, but we like to keep the show to an hour if we can. Look,
we'll be covering Loki, guys. Don't worry. We'll be doing Loki. Loki's coming.
Haven't had time this week, but we are going to get on to what else is coming up on Disney Plus, and that'll be something for next week's show. We sort of aim to come into your next weekend. We're going to broadcast the time pretty soon, once we all know we're available. But that's great. A great week at Disney. I'm very excited to see the opening of Avengers Campus. That was fantastic news. Really excited about Halloween now that we see some other stuff happening at Disney World. Hopefully something happening at Disneyland as well. And another great episode from Bad Batch. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. Look, links to all of our channels and to subscribe to Magic Partners Live is down below. So make sure you do that. Make sure you go over to DisneylandToday.net. Take a look every week at what's going on there, because very informative. Make sure you tune in to Bryan's Magic Life and subscribe. Give him a big thumbs up to his videos, because he's coming to you from Disney World every week, sometimes twice. And D-News Jam will be back soon. Watch this space. Guys, fantastic to talk to you again. We will see you next weekend. And that's it from Magic Partners Life today. See you later, guys. Until next week.